Alright, hey everybody, this is Will Cole, and I'm going to be doing a quick deck profile of the deck I ran for Nats and the 1K this weekend over at ARG Philly. Pretty much this is our mat, the mat that was given out during Friday. Of course, I got to keep a copy, so if you haven't had a chance to take a peek at it yet, it's really nice. The way it sets stuff up, everyone's on there and whatnot, it's really cool and stuff. I don't know, I was like, one of the best parts of the weekend for me was just getting it as a whole. Okay, enough about that one. I wanted to gush about that just for a second. It was really nice of ARG to really put that together. It was really well done. Now I'm going to move on to, I guess, the deck that I ran. This is more so the one I ran at the 1K, but I'll explain the difference between the National ones and the 1K one from Saturday and Sunday. It's only a minor difference, but I'll explain it as a whole, though. Of course, everyone knows I ran my Robos at the event. And, actually, I did a lot better than I thought I would, actually. I think I won a lot more than I lost, which was kind of the shocking part. Expecting to get my head kicked in, but then I fought back against some high-tier stuff. Lost against some good stuff as well, but it just made me feel a lot better when I was doing a lot better than I thought I would. Enough rambling. I didn't put my deck in any kind of order yet, so I'm just going to have to go with it. So as I sit here and talk about and get my deck in some kind of order, I will say that, as always, I start with Goyusha. Goyusha for me is he's like a really important part of everything that I try to do in the deck. It's hard to lose him early, but when it happens though, I try to make it a point to try to focus on keeping him relevant and keeping him around. Because if he's not around, then I kind of suffer a bit whenever I get rushed. Because sometimes I really do gotta escape to grade 3 in order to dodge a grade 2 beatdown. And it makes it very terrifying to try to deal with. For the most part, my stand trigger lineup, or my lineup as a whole, was an 8-4. I ran 8 crits and 4 stands, because I really like Rekka, and because she doubles off as like a stand and a draw. So she does her thing, as well as the 4 die battles and the 4 die wolves. Because I was just trying to focus on pressure from not only the rear guards, but from the vanguard as well. Let's see here. Almost done with the sorting process. Complete. Okay. Okay, so with that said, now I got that taken care of. Okay. As far as, like I said, my, trigger line's concerned, pull us back a bit. So the Rekkas and the Go rescues are important this weekend. Of course, everyone knows that stands are important. I just like to reference Go Rescue in particular because I really felt like I was being saved every time I saw it, especially this weekend because it was just like rough otherwise. And there we go. Yeah, so I ran 8. I ran 8 of my crits, which is basically 4-4. Stands were 4 and the heals were 4. Okay, so with all those out the way, onto the gray ones. Now here's a variance that I did as far as between Nats and the 1K on Sunday. What I did on Sunday was I switched out 2 things here, which is pretty much just 2 cards. The gray one lineup was pretty much the same thing, but for the most part, the difference of my 1K and my Nats was pretty much the 2 became a 4, and I don't know, I was talked into it. I personally, myself, I feel like you never need more than really 2 to 3 Laurel at the most. I feel like 4 was overkill, because if I have to G-assist into a Laurel, it usually puts me way behind, because then that means I'm sitting on a 4K, taking a rush down from either grade 1 or grade 2, and I can't really take much of that unless I'm, hitting triggers. But on the 1K, though, I felt myself feeling a lot more comfortable with the build when I was running 2 of my die lines along with my 2 Commander Laurels. I mean, sometimes getting a chance to break right early is just crucial. Like I said, as far as my grade 1 lineup, it didn't change anything from what happened this weekend. I just ran 4 of my die shields and 4 Yuccas. For those who don't realize what Yucca's ability is, I'll explain that real quick. Yucca is a GB1 who just gives a +4 boost when she's placed down. And this weekend, I found myself relying on Yucca a lot, because a lot of my major pushes involved me having a Yucca in hand, a Rekka in hand, a Daijin on the field and a grade 3 in the graveyard, it's a quick 12k boost. And that quick 12k boost means the world when it comes to dealing with a lot of, people who usually retain a lot of hand. So when I say, like a 40 or 50 something from the Break Red Legion skill, it really puts people really behind the 8 ball. Or just from Break Red on anyone else, because I do run other grade 3s other than just the Legion and the mate of True and Great Dryusha. So pretty much that's how that lined itself up. As far as grade 2s are concerned, I ran 3 of the Die Dragons. You're basically 12k punchers. They're kind of important to a degree. You want to make sure that you have solid rear guard columns swinging at you. I teched 1 Barrett because, sometimes I may miss my rides. And also, it's also nice to be able to snipe a starter every now and again. I ran 2 Die Fighters. That's the 10k vanillas because, DP, we get rushed a lot. Grade 1 and Grade 2, they just swing at us. And so, my thought process was, sometimes you might need a big body in order to survive some of those hits. So, right now, Fighter actually gave me a chance to actually fight back against some rushes and whatnot. Also made Die Bear attacks a lot more fun. And I ran 4 Die Jet. And of course, Die Jet is the GB one, put back a grade 3, boost someone and on-hit to draw one. Helps facilitate the draw engine in the deck at the moment. So that was also a really solid place for me as well. On to the big boys, the grade 3s that everyone's always a fan of seeing. I ran, I believe it was 4 of the Break Ride this tournament. Of course, we all know the Break Ride. It's scary, it's degenerate, it breaks shields, it breaks souls. It's pretty much, I ran as a 4 because I wanted to see it as much as possible. And riding into it was always, optimal. I teched in 1 Die Yard. Because Die Yard with Die Lion usually results in me having Die Kaiser ready to go early. So you can break right later on. It doesn't cost me any counterblast. It's just soul charge any D Robo, and then this turns into like a Die Kaiser or anyone else who happens to be out there at the time. That also means that I ran 2 of the Legions and 2 of the Mates. I don't know, I've always been a fan of the 2-ofs. So that means that whenever they got to the board together, they did things. So that way, of course, this pretty much is the closer, if you will. If you're not using your strides as much, then those pretty much were you guys and gals who did the things right then and there. And last part, I ran 1 of each of Shadow Kaiser and Great Dai Kaiser. The cross break ride, if you will. I ran 1 of each of those because sometimes I may damage my mates into the soul, or I damage my legion into the damage my legion, and sometimes you just need to have a different win condition. So for me, sometimes sitting on a 13k base was pretty solid to deal with. It didn't have to worry nearly as much, so it really helped me in that regard of not having to dump as much hand into certain plays and whatnot. In case anyone's wondering, my grade 3 count this time around, I believe, was 12, actually. Let's see here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Could have been 11 or 12. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Yeah, 10, 11. Oh, 11. Okay, it was 11 because it was on 12 grade 1s, right. Okay. So, my count was actually 11. I thought it was 12. I guess it must have been a different build. But yeah, I ran 12 of those. Or 11 grade 3s. And then I ran 12 grade 1s because I was running extra laurels. And then, during the 1K, I ran same number, just changing the 4 laurels into 2 laurels and 2 die lines instead. As far as my stride was concerned, I ran 1 X-Tiger. He's self-explanatory. He needs to get turned up by dealing with other people's dealing with your own stride units. So of course, usually you call them in I think your 2nd or 3rd stride, depending on what the situation of the game is. Then he had, of course, he had 4 great directs from me, because getting that skill off is also very crucial. I've talked about it ad nauseum a few times, how it's important to be able to, get 10 cards out the deck, 4 of which are grade 2 and grade 3s. It's deck thinning, and of course, the SP always says deck thinning is deck winning. So it's always important to remember that sometimes getting that stride off was really crucial, even at the counterblast for 2. Also, I've played... It was one ofs. It was I played 2 X-Falcons in the actual game itself, in actual matches, instead of playing the 1 X-Rogue, because that was a change from the 1K right there. So I played 2 X Falcons and I played 1 Omega. Let me see if I got that extra stride. It must be in the box still. I'll track it down. So pretty much the goal for me this weekend was to just use what I got and then go from there. For the most part though, I think what I would have changed in the Nationals would have had like an X Rogue or 2. Because even though my deck does run a lot of aggression and stands and crits, I would have liked to have had a solid draw engine as far as my strides were concerned. And X-Rogue facilitates that, and he's always a good first stride. I never feel bad striding him first, because it's free. As far as him getting to his power to his point, and then letting him swing for 37, and then getting a card in to retire. So it's like pressure, it forces out PGs like all the other strides do, so I could have capitalized on him a little bit more by not running so many X-Falcons. For the most part, that was pretty much my build for the weekend. There was a whole lot of matches where I found myself breaking a lot of shields. I was actually running very hot this weekend. A lot of D-Police are running very hot this weekend. Even Netskelly, she ran hers all the way to top 4, so it was definitely an impressive feat to say the least. And of course we heard about Vancouver already, so... for the most part, that's my take on what I did with my Robos at ARG Philly. Hopefully my goal is to talk about Dark Regulars in my next video, because a lot of people are asking me about what I think about the new stuff, new support. Hopefully I get a chance to talk about it. I got some stuff so I can start putting it together, so you guys will see it in my next video, whenever that is. Well, I think that covers just about everything I want to talk about with this. With that said, I don't have much more to talk about, yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. With that said, I thank you all for watching. This is Will Cole, aka Mr. Justice, I guess I've been dubbed since as of late. And thanks for watching. And as always, believe in justice.